Hi, it's kind of dark and you can't see me, but I wanted to point something out. Now, I'm on a very narrow, curvy road, but you can see the telephone poles against the sky. Now, this is the same way that you walk in the dark. You look at the sky and you see where the sky is, and then you know where your path is. Well, if you can see the telephone poles, up ahead you can see where the wire goes, and therefore that there's a curve in the road, because the telephone poles follow the curve. See, now the telephone poles are on this side and they go there. See, if you look all the way down there, you can see the telephone poles. Now, dusk is a very hard time to drive because it's very difficult to see exactly where the road is, and because it is the contrast with the sky. But you can use those telephone poles to help you, especially like on a road like this where curves come popping up all the time and you don't dare go very fast just because you might end up not noticing the curve, right? You come up over a hill and suddenly the road is turning. But these telephone poles, just looking at the sky and watching the poles, that can help you a lot to know where the road is and whether it's going to curve or not. Just wanted to tell you that. Let's see if I can put you here where you can see the telephone poles. What's wrong with this? Okay. Now we're just going to let you follow the telephone poles, and then you'll see which way the road goes. What is wrong with this wire here? It seems to be pulling on it. Okay. I'm going to zoom in a bit so you see the wires better. I find that very interesting.
In 900 meters, turn right on Scotch Line.
But now it gets into this area where you can't really see the tops of the wires, tops of the poles. So you know there must be a curve happening up here. See the last pole there?
Turn right on Scotch Line.
Aha! Look at this. There is a curve. Okay, so we'll turn right on Scotch Line.
Drive 4.8 kilometers, then turn left on Glantay Road.
Okay, now once again we have the telephone poles against the sky. You see, you can't see the road in the distance, but you can see the poles. But you see here, you can see that there's kind of a change. They jump, they're on the other side. They're on the other side and they're descending in height, as well as on this side. So you know there's a curve. So whenever there's a curve in the road, the telephone poles are going to reflect that. See, I can't see the road up there, but I can see those poles off to the side. They're bending all the way around. Isn't that fascinating? I never realized this before, that I could use the poles. The telephone poles stop. That's your last pole. And they curve away, so you know that you have a curve in the road. Of course, you also have these big yellow things, so that helps, which is why they're there. But if you want to go for a walk in the dark, you don't need to take a flashlight. You can just look at, you see the difference in the color of the trees and the color of the sky. There's always going to be a gap in the trees where you're walking, unless you're walking deep in the forest. That might be a little tricky. See, now as it gets harder to see where the telephone poles are, as the sky darkens, you can see further down the road with your lights. Especially if you put your lights on. You know, when I'm driving along and I have another car coming against me, if I have to dim my lights, right? And when I dim the lights, and when I pass the car, I can never, like, as long as the car is coming towards me, until we've passed each other, I can't see if there was a deer in the road. Like, if I can see by myself, I can see whether there's a deer because I can see the lights. Now see, we're headed into the sunset again, so now I can see the telephone poles better. But there's that gap, like right now, okay? I have dimmed my lights. He's got his lights dimmed. But, well, it's not so bad because it's not completely dark yet. But when it is completely dark and all you can see is his lights, you can't see the eyes of a deer. And there have been times that a deer will cross in between us. And that is the biggest hazard of driving, I find, for me. Other people have other big hazards. You see how the lights light up the road all the way down now? Right down to the curve. The camera shows a greater contrast. Sky makes the sky look brighter than it is. There's a star. Starlight, star bright, first star I've seen tonight. Wish I may, wish I might. Wish I wish tonight. See how the telephone poles disappear? Oh, now they're way over there. Curve in the road. See how much darker the sky is to the south than it is to the west? It helps when you know a road. When you don't know a road, it's good to find ways to figure it out. I know people people who have been hit by trains here. One friend of mine, her truck was hit by a train there. I think her car was hit by a train there. And she ran into a deer. Maybe it was hit by a train once, ran into a deer twice. Anyway, she had a pretty bad month. That was it. Okay, so now the poles are on the other side. Can you see the poles at all? See, they go up here, and then of course you can also tell because there's trees in front of the road. Right? When there's trees in front of the road, you know the road has to turn. Because you're not going to go into the trees. And also you can see that the trees are lowering toward the right, going down, and then the other side is coming up, which means that the road is going that way. See, once again, there's trees ahead. If there's trees ahead, you can't have the road go. You see where the gap is, but also which way the trees lower down. The vanishing point line of the treetops. If the treetops are all of similar height, then the line, the diminishing point is the furthest distant point in the point of view. So right ahead at the bottom of that V, cars with blue lights flashing. That is a very unusual thing to see out here. While you're watching the sky, you're not really able to watch for the shiny eyes of deer. See, look at this. As soon as that car shows up, see, I can see for deer now. But as soon as I have that car lights in my eyes, see? There's no way I could see a deer. I can't cover up the light, and the deer could come out in between us, and I wouldn't know it until I hit him. Unless he's coming from the other side, and then I would see him cross in front of the other guy's lights. Telephone poles along here. Well, they're pretty short. I don't know if you can see them just sticking out on the tops on the left. So the road curved there and I couldn't tell. That car was coming. No, I didn't see the poles. find you the road. See, I can't see a bunch of deer in there. So I'm always feeling tempted to stop and wait till the car goes by, just to make sure I don't hit a deer. It's pretty rare not to hit a deer out here. You know, it seems like everybody hits deer. Everywhere you go, people are hitting deer. Everywhere, everybody's hit a deer. Some people have hit several. So far, I have been very blessed not to have hit them. I doubt it's just because I look for them. Because I'm pretty scatterbrained. So you can't see anything now, can you? Just see the road ahead but when it goes up over these little hills, you see, there's a shadow behind the hills, so you can't see very far. And we're not headed west, so it's not easy to see. The time is 10 to 10, and there's still light in the sky. I hope poor Willem doesn't think that I'm out there in my teepee having a campfire. I told him to look for the car. If he doesn't see if the car's at home and I'm not, then I might be out in the teepee. Well, that was your lesson in figuring out roads that you don't know, which way they curve, when they curve, by watching the telephone pole tops. And also how to walk in the dark by watching the sky and seeing where your road